Hello, this is Nataraja. I'm coming up with a special hybrid mutual fund report, and this time I'm able to combine short-term and long-term data together and able to present you much more effective data presentation. So the focus is hybrid funds only, and to give you top 50 analysis both for short term and long term. Short term, I am doing it only for 1 month basis and 1 year basis, which I think is good enough. And for long term, I have data for 3 years, 5 years, and 10 years, and that will be presented. All this presentation is based on values research data I have downloaded and I have synthesized for this presentation. So let us go ahead with the presentation. So this report is as on the mutual fund performance until December 6th, the Friday, 2024, which becomes available for download on December 7th. So the date stamp you see on the data will be as on December 7th, though the data corresponds to 1 day earlier. This is because the data gets sent to value research from various funds on a night basis, overnight basis so that's what is available by next morning for me to download. Now, let us talk about this report, why you should see this video. Hybrid funds are better alternative for managing the risks of equity funds through equity corrections. If the markets go through significant equity corrections for say 1 to 3 years, then it makes sense to switch to hybrid funds because hybrid funds give you an ability to manage your risk and reward equation by using different combinations of debt percentage in the funds. Aggressive hybrid funds could be low on the debt portion, and balanced funds could be somewhere medium, and conservative funds could be very high on the debt portion. So depending on the risk appetite of yours, you can control your risk reward ratio using hybrid funds. But keep it in mind, if the equity market is doing extremely well, equities will give better reward. So in which case you will lose that reward by focusing on the hybrid funds. So my own personal stance now is that I look at the Indian equity market with a tremendous bullishness for the next 3 to 5 years. So I feel there is no need for me to go for hybrid funds. That is also for a reason that probably my current mutual fund portfolio is much less than a 1 crore because I recently started. Whereas people with high net worth and have accumulated a huge asset base through mutual fund investment tend to become more conservative as to protect the capital they have built than seeking very high returns, which is also risky. So such people are more towards hybrid funds. So for such people, this report is very relevant. So you may ask why then I take the trouble to do all this because I am also academically oriented about the entire equity and mutual funds market. So this is fun for me. So this is a fun project. Uh, so you too join the fun. Within this report, the focus is for top 50 analysis. Typically, what happens is top 50, especially in a bull market, tends to be overcrowded with the aggressive hybrid funds and maybe some balanced funds. So you would not see, therefore, any insight for conservative funds if you're looking for optimization of investment of conservative funds. So keep that limitation in mind. So let us look at performance summary. Here I have given the performance of hybrid funds at various timelines, and I have contrasted that with equity funds summary, which I presented last week. And here equity funds I have given only for long term, because short term I do know that 1 year data is around 30% for equity funds. So now look at the last line here, which is 220 funds average you get for various timelines. 1 week return is 1.29%, 3 months is 1 month is 1.07%, 3 months is 1.19%, 6 months is 7.72%, 1 year is 18%, 3 years is 12.53%, 5 years is 13%, and 10 years is 10.35%. So it is fair to say that with hybrid funds, prudent investments, you can achieve somewhere between 12 to 14% annual average return on a consistent basis, which is probably way lower than 20% equity returns, you can notice. So this year, the equities gave an average of 30% in the last report for 1 year. Here it is 18%. So that is the differential, 18 versus 30. For 3 years, it is hybrid 12.53 versus equity 18.19. So approximately 40 to 50% extra. For the 5 years, it's 13% hybrid compared to 20.97 by the equity. And for 10 years, it's 10.35 for the hybrid compared to 14.34 for 10 years. So whether it is equity or hybrid, you can see that 10-year data is way low compared to 3 and 5 years. That is for a couple of reasons. One is that mutual fund industry was nascent 10 years back, whether it is hybrid or equity, and the cost of mutual fund investment was also high. Now with the more regulation and competition, the cost of mutual fund investments is anywhere between 0.3 to 2% 2% expense ratio on the funds. So you can take that average as 1%. So that's why the performances are looking much better for 3 years and 5 years compared to 10 years. So with this you get a perspective as to what to expect when you invest on hybrid funds. So section 2 is top 50 mutual funds analysis. For the short term, I do it for 1 month and 1 year. This is for 1 month. Now let me explain a couple of things which is applicable for all the top 50 tables. I have analyzed the returns for short term and long term separately. Short term is 1 week to 1 year, and long term is 3 years to 10 years. So the color coding is green and amber. The green happens if the all available returns in the list for that term basis, whether it is a short term, long term, is above average. Okay, then it is green. For amber, it is slightly relaxed. The return should be above average for all timelines, except there can be slippage for one. Here for the first line, short term, you can see that PGIM India Hybrid Equity Fund is having a below average return for the 1 year. So that's why it is marked in amber. Now, there's a minor change in amber rule between short term and long term, which is this. For short term amber rule, there is a concession given between 1 week and 1 month returns. Any one of them is above average, then both are considered above average. This is because it is too short a term to be very tough on the amber rule. So some relaxation is given, but that relaxation is not applicable for the long term. So here you can therefore look at short term returns and long term returns. Therefore, the table is divided into 2 parts when it comes to the returns, and the color codes are also separately made. So with this, you can see the variation of returns between short term and long term, the variation of leadership between short term and long term, and the variation of consistency of return between short term and long term very effectively. So let us look at the first one. PGIM India Hybrid Equity Fund has an amber for short term, and it does not have an impressive record for the longer term basis. Let us look at one fund which has given you green status across both short term and long term, because that may be the focus for new investors, which is give me a fund which is consistent across short term and long term. So I will read those funds. HSBC Aggressive Hybrid Fund. Okay, then Invesco India Aggressive Hybrid Fund. Then Bank of India Mid and Small Cap Equity and Debt Fund, and then Kotak Equity Hybrid Fund. So those are the only ones. Now, are there anyone which are amber across both? There is one, Aditya Birla Sun Life Financial Planning Fund of Fund Aggressive Plan. And there is one more Axis Retirement Fund Dynamic Plan. It is amber for short term and green for longer term. Similarly, Tata Retirement Savings Fund Moderate Plan, amber for short term and green for longer term. And there is one more, SBI Magnum Children's Benefit Fund Investment Fund Plan, amber for short term, green for longer term. And one more, the in the top of the table is HSBC Managed Solutions India Growth Direct Plan, amber for short term and green for long term. So this table alone gives you a lot more clarity as to how to pick consistent performing leaders both across short term and long term. The remaining top 50 will give further clarity that can be added to the clarity you can get from the insight from this table. So we are going to now 1 year performance leader. So these 1 year performance leaders, again I will read only the green ones, both across short and long term first. And the first such fund is Bank of India Mid and Small Cap Equity and Debt Fund. Next one is HSBC Aggressive Hybrid Fund. Next one is, that's all, only two of them. Let us now read about all the amber ones, which are either amber or green across both the short term and long term. The first line on the table, SBI Magnum Children's Benefit Fund Investment Plan, amber for short term, green for longer term. Then Invesco India Aggressive Hybrid Fund, green now and amber for longer term. Then let us see this one, Nippon India Multi-Asset Allocation Fund, amber for short term, green for longer term. Then, so that's all. So you can also look at short term leaders which do not have good returns long terms, which are Axis Retirement Fund Dynamic Plan, because there is no color for the longer term. HSBC Aggressive Hybrid Fund, no color for longer term. Bandhan Hybrid Equity Fund, green now, but no color for the longer one. Similarly, Tata Retirement Savings Fund, HSBC Equity Savings Fund, Aditya Birla Sun Life Retirement Fund, and Invesco India Balanced Advantage Fund. They are recognizable as consistent performance leader for short term, but not good looking for the longer term. Let us do the reverse. Which were the funds which did good long term and now are not consistent? The first one is JM Aggressive Hybrid Fund, then Quant Multi-Asset Fund. Next one is ICICI Prudential Retirement Fund Hybrid Aggressive Plan. Then this one is Baroda BNP Paribas Aggressive Hybrid Fund. Next one is Edelweiss Aggressive Hybrid Fund, Kotak Multi-Asset Allocator Fund of Fund. Then two more here, ICICI Prudential Equity and Debt Fund, Nippon India Asset Allocator Fund of Fund. Then one more here, which is HDFC Balanced Advantage Fund, and one more HDFC Children's Fund Direct Plan. So all these distinctions you can get by looking at this. I will not discuss these distinctions further, maybe because this 1 year data may be the best place to bring this distinction, which could be repetitive in the next ones. So let us move on to 3 year top 50. Okay, so okay, this is 3 years top 50. Let us look at the green ones across both short term and long term here. Bank of India Mid and Small Cap Equity and Debt Fund. Okay, then Kotak Equity Hybrid Fund. I think only two of them are green across short and long term. Now let us look at those which have any one color across both short and long term. SBI Magnum Children's Benefit Fund Investment Plan. Then in addition to both greens we discussed, so I will not repeat the both greens here. Edelweiss Aggressive Hybrid Fund. Next one is Kotak Multi-Asset Asset Allocator FOF. Then I have HDFC Children's Fund, Baroda BNP Paribas Aggressive Hybrid Fund, Nippon India Equity Hybrid Fund. That's all. So these have some color at least across both short term and long term. So that gives you a perspective. So which is the best fund I would choose here is that one is green across both short term and long term, and at the top of the table, that is Bank of India Mid and Small Cap Equity and Debt Fund. When I combine the long term data also, so that is the distinction I wanted to mention. So next we are going to 5 years top 50. Okay, in 5 years top 50, let us again discuss those funds with the green across both short term and long term. Again, Bank of India Mid and Small Cap Equity and Debt Fund. Then there is one more, which is Kotak Equity Hybrid Fund, and that's all. And the funds, other funds which are having some color at least across both short and long term are Kotak Multi-Asset Allocator Fund of Fund, then Edelweiss Aggressive Hybrid Fund, UTI Aggressive Hybrid Fund, this one HDFC Children's Fund, then Bandhan Hybrid Equity Fund, one more Franklin India Equity Hybrid Fund, and still one more Invesco India Aggressive Hybrid Fund. So that gives you the perspective you deserve. Next, we are moving to the last one, 10-year. Okay, 10-year is a longest time we have. So we have again discussing only those which are green across both timelines first. Kotak Multi-Asset Allocator FOF, green across both short and long term. Then there are three more: HDFC Children's Fund, Tata Retirement Savings Fund Moderate Plan, Kotak Equity Hybrid Fund. And then two more: Franklin India Equity Hybrid Fund, HSBC Aggressive Hybrid Fund. Then the rest which are having at least one color across both are JM Aggressive Hybrid Fund, Canara Robeco Equity Hybrid Fund, then Edelweiss Aggressive Hybrid Fund, Aditya Birla Sun Life Financial Planning FOF, then HSBC Managed Solutions India, then ICICI Prudential Child Care Fund. That's all. So this is the top 50 analysis for both short and long term basis. So with this, I think we are coming to the end of top 50 analysis. So time to summarize. We always know that past performance is not a guarantee for the future when it comes to mutual fund performance, but it pays more to invest on consistent performance leaders. And now we have an ability to contrast short-term and long-term leadership position as well as the consistency of leadership positions. So because we are looking at top 50 here, again, the ones we see here tend to be more aggressive, okay, in the list. Next, it is possible for you to leverage hybrid funds totally to seek equity and debt balance. For example, if you are at age 60 with the total 5 crores asset base to invest, you can go for entire 4 crores into hybrid funds, seeking 60% and 40% debt balance. See, another way was, see, the rule of thumb is 100 minus your year. So 60% into equity and say 40% in debt. You could put 60% in equity funds and 40% in debt funds. Or for convenience, you can put entire 100% in hybrid funds. And within the hybrid funds, you can seek 62 equity and 40 debt balance. But again, hybrid funds give you different type of hybrid funds, from aggressive to conservative. So you can use different combinations of aggressive to hybrid. and the definition of those funds tell you what percentage of equity you can expect in such funds. And remember that hybrid funds also give you ability to invest in commodities, especially when you go for multi-asset funds. So that is also a flexibility here. So once in a while, I would give the detailed returns of funds, whether it's equity, hybrid, or debt, by subtypes. So going forward, such reports will have both short-term and long-term data, because now I have an ability to combine that data across two different tables. So you can expect such analysis of hybrid funds at least once in 2 months. For equity, I do it every month. Probably next week, you will see such a detailed report by subtype for equity funds. So that's coming up. So anticipate for the next week. So this is not relevant. This is from the last one, so ignore that. Now we are coming to the disclaimers. This is not a solicitation for investment into mutual funds, not a recommendation as to which funds to invest, though such insight is available from this report. I'm not a qualified and licensed mutual fund advisor, and I don't intend to, though I may have the knowledge and ability to do so. So I'm not responsible for any omissions that may be there in the data that is coming from Value Research, or any human errors in my data processing. All your investments need to be based on your own final decisions, and you need to be fully responsible for such decisions with no need to blame anybody later. So with that responsibility, you can do prudent and investment into mutual funds, whether it's equity or hybrid, and build your wealth effectively for longer term. So with that, I will thank you for this session. You can follow me on various social network platforms. All my reports come as a blog first, which is this blog, natsfarmcorner.blogspot.com, and only certain blogs will be converted into video, especially the special mutual fund report. So thank you so much for this session. Keep looking for more interesting sessions every week in the blog form, but videos will be there at least 3-4 per month. So have a good one. See you again very soon. Bye.